yeah. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? How's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? Joshua says, I'm happy, or I'm excited about the changes you're making. Thanks, buddy. Yeah, me too, man, you know? I think it's gonna be good for everybody. It's, you know, it's gonna be good. Everybody doing their thing. No big deal. No problem. I don't want no problem. We don't want no problem. Today's gonna be a good one, man. You know, as many of you guys know, I am a big old nerd. And I like this nerdy stuff, you know. But this morning, I feel like I got a little bit. I feel like I got a little bit, okay? I feel like Amazon and Superman, they got me a little, okay? And so I want to get into that. I want to explain that today. Does this mean you'll read my fart jokes now? I mean, I might. It just kind of depends. Technically, nobody can tell me what to do, including you. So we'll see. Just if the mood strikes, okay? Zach says, Josh is back and he's gonna save fandom. I'm with you no matter what, brother. Nerd Vengeance for life. Zach Vengeance for life. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm talking about the Superman early screening showing thing. We'll get into it in a little bit here. It's pretty wild. I grabbed some tickets. I'm still excited. I can't even lie. I'm still excited. But it was one of those things where you frantically do something, okay? And then you have a little clarity. You know, I don't know. It reminded me of a couple other situations I've been in life. And sometimes you just need that clarity, you know, that post thing clarity. And so I want to, because that kind of happened. I was like, wait a minute. I started to do the math. I started to think about it a little bit more. Uh-oh. I think I got. But we'll get into it. We'll explain it. I've got a lot of stuff I want to talk about today, actually. So a big portion of the stream, we'll talk about Superman's genius marketing plan and how they absolutely tricked me. And we'll get into all the details of that. I think this might actually work because it worked on me. It probably worked on plenty of people. So we'll get into it. We'll talk about it. I also found an interesting article. Somebody out there saying Thunderbolts is not a flop. And they've got data, they've got numbers, and they explain why it's not a flop. And I think that's kind of interesting because it's something you and I have talked about, chat, over the past couple of weeks. Because it's definitely not making money in the movie theaters, right? But at the same time, there's been a lot of discussion, and I've got some pushback from people about what that exactly means, what's happening to the industry, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll get into that. I at least want to hear this person out. We'll decide for ourselves, you know, what it means. But it's good to hear other people out and their opinions. So we'll go into that. Also, a lot of news about Mortal Kombat. Dude, this Mortal Kombat movie, man, I'm kind of getting excited for it. There was some interesting stuff that came out yesterday about screenings, about some of the buzz for the Mortal Kombat movie. The creators of that movie made some interesting comments about it. Not everybody's loving it. You know what I mean? Like, some people are like, wait, what do you mean it's going to be funnier? Oh, fuck that, you know? But we'll get into it because I found the information to be good. I was like, yo, this sounds right, and I am excited about it. But we'll get into it, okay? We'll get into it. There's some news about Hulu. Disney finally acquires the full Hulu app. That's kind of interesting. You know, we talk a lot about these companies, digital entertainment, how the industry's changing, how that, you know, affects all of our favorite nerdy things. So we'll get into that a little bit as well. And then more insight about the Warner Brothers split. Deadline did an article about it, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I want to talk about that. There's also a very crazy MCU leak / rumor thing that I want to talk about, because like a lot of you guys brought this up to me and you asked me about it, and it's actually a dude who I blocked on stream last week because I was like, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Well, maybe I blocked a little too quick. You know what I mean? Maybe this is a Thanos situation. Perhaps I treated him too harshly. I don't know. We'll get into it, but this leak sounds pretty crazy, and it does line up with a lot of other things that we've talked about. I'll give like full spoiler warning when we get into it, so you don't have to, get into the leaks if you don't want to. But at the same time, I don't think it's anything too crazy. But at the same time, it's fun. It is like kind of really fun. I think if it's real, I think it'll come out before the movie comes out. You know, so we'll talk about that a little bit. I had some more thoughts about Warhammer and Henry Cavill. Because a lot of people, man, wait till you see. I'm going to pull it up on stream, man. But wait till you guys see all the doubters, all the haters, everybody that posted on my tweet about how the Warhammer John's going to be the next MCU, going to be the next Game of Thrones. Just wait until you see all the comments, man. We'll put them on blast today. And I want to explain something that y'all don't fucking stand. Okay? Spoiler alert. Did you know that currently Games Workshop as a company has an evaluation higher than both Marvel and Star Wars did when they were purchased by Disney? I want to say that again for you motherfuckers in the back. Did you know that Games Workshop, sometimes called James Workshop, currently has a total market cap evaluation that is higher than Marvel or Star Wars when they were purchased by Disney? Yeah, obviously each model costs $1,000. Yeah, we'll get into it. It's actually, yeah, we'll get into it. There are reasons. But they can't get a decent website going. That's fair. You know what I mean? They're certainly not perfect. You know what I mean? But we'll talk about it. We'll get into it. I saw a bunch of you motherfuckers arguing on the Discord about Sue Storm as the leader of the Fantastic Four and how that's the worst thing ever or totally comic accurate, and everybody that doesn't like it is a massagist. I forget how to pronounce that word, but a massagist, I think you guys were calling each other, which I found weird. I don't know what massages have to do with this, but we'll get into it. I'll give you both sides. I'll get everybody in the living room. You can all sit around, and Papa will help you with your grievances. So that's what we're doing today. I think it's going to be a fun stream. I almost said show. God damn it. Zach, thank you for the gifted membership, man. Appreciate you. Benjamin, thank you, brother. Says, hope you and the fam are doing well. Socks, box, and lips. I don't know what that means, but thank you. Appreciate it. What's going on with y'all, man? Everybody doing good? Diddy party. That's pretty crazy. That's out of left field for sure. That's out of left field, but appreciate you. Welcome to the show. There's literally zero chance Warhammer reaches the level of Star Wars or Marvel, but I'm down for a cool fantasy story. Man, you had me irritated in the first half. You know what I mean? I'm in a good mood. I'm gonna let that one slide. You're wrong, but it's okay. I understand. Josh says, I'll take the massages from Sue Storm, please. Oh my God, yes. Yes, please. You know what I mean? Was he late? Was who late? Anonymous M? Me, Mr. fucking punctual over here? Yeah, I don't think so, bud. On time. Rossi, what up, brother? Thank you for the rose. Also, I hope your face is okay, man. That's not a joke. He's got some issues going on with his face. After Horrick, says Josh, very quick, how's your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers joining the Steelers? Man, I gotta say, not that pumped about it. I'm gonna be honest. I mean, if he does well, I will be happy. But, I mean, and it's not even like, oh, he's going to come in and put everybody on ayahuasca and shit. Like, no, it's nothing like that. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about that. I just honestly think he's a little washed, to be honest. You know? I mean, dude, I was all about it. Like, when he had that injury, okay? He had that injury. What was it, like an Achilles injury or whatever? And he was like, I'm going to go to the Amazon and do drugs and fix this instead of surgery. I was like, Bob's your uncle. You know what I mean? And if you can do that and then come back and actually ball, hell yeah, brother. I'm all about it. But he didn't really play that well, as far as I understand it, you know? So it's like, I don't know, man. What are we talking about here? You know, I mean, there's obviously things that he will still be able to do well. Probably has excellent field vision, excellent instincts. It's a physical game, man. You know, we'll see. Tom Holland says, bro, do you ever lose hype when you go to see a film that you already know a lot about because you're so plugged in? Just curious. I personally do not. I'm trying to think of like an example where that happened. I think the only example that I can come up with was the last season of Game of Thrones. Steelers have a top 32 offense now. Yeah, that's impressive, huh? Thanks, Simon. The fuck was I just talking about? Oh yeah, the hype. So the only thing that comes to mind is the last season of Game of Thrones because I knew about the King Bran shit, right? And I was looking early on in that season. I was looking for signs that those leaks were real, and they were. And it definitely soured that shit for me pretty early on. So that's an example of it, but I can't really think of an example. Like even The Last Jedi, strangely, I think I enjoyed it more. Or no, not Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker. I strangely enjoyed that film more because I knew all the crazy leaks. And I think actually most of the time, you know, so I've talked about this a lot. And interestingly, James Gunn had like a rare W comment about this because, of course, there's going to be the screening. Let me see if I can find this for you guys. There's going to be the screening that you get through Amazon Prime. I'm going to talk about that in a bit because I got bamboozled. But Gunn had, I can't find it, man. Gunn had a really interesting comment where, because people were like, isn't this going to spoil the movie or whatever? And he said, I don't think it will ruin the enjoyment of the film. Fuck, I forget somebody in Discord, send me that shit again. Because somebody on our Discord had it earlier. If you could send it to me, I'd love to read what he said. Because I actually agree with it. And essentially the gist of it was, most people don't mind, actually, knowing and then seeing. It's a different experience. And, you know, they've found, like, interestingly, that people actually enjoy things more when they have a sort of level of understanding of what's going to happen. So that's why a lot of people will enjoy movies more the second or the third time they watch them. It's a big part of why foreshadowing in novels is super important because basically people just want to know where things are going and they want to feel smart about like figuring it out. So yeah, no, for me, it doesn't really change anything. I mean, I know a bunch of stuff about the Superman movie, but I don't know what the experience of watching it's going to be like, you know? So I'm still excited for that. And also, I've said this before, but I actually really believe this. If your film does not grab me like enough so that I don't think about leaks, then that's on your film. You know, like it's almost like the phone effect. You could judge a show or a movie by the metric of like, do I feel like pulling out my phone? If you do feel like pulling out your phone, the movie's just not good enough, period. In my opinion. A movie has to be so good that it like grabs you by the face and captures you, and then you're along on the edge of your seat for the entire time. If that is happening, you can't go into your brain and be like, okay, let's go through the checklist here. Okay, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. Like maybe a little here and there after it happens, a part of you might be like, oh yeah, that was in the leaks. But if you're really captivated by the story, you're not sitting there with a checklist like knocking stuff off of it. You know what I mean? Like that's not how that shit works. Kendall says, am I the only one that thinks Sue is sexier because of Rivals? No, you're probably not, brother. I mean, that feels like a pretty oh shit. Just fucking clicked the wrong thing. That feels like a lot of people feel that way, man. Rivals doing some big lifting for the Marvel brand. I hope Marvel Studios recognizes it. Or maybe he's counting on those early leaks to build hype. Absolutely. Of course. That too. That's a part of it as well. I totally agree with that. Did somebody give me the comment on Discord? Jesus, guys. Like, what are we doing? Are you guys like at your jobs? The fuck? You're like doing actual work and shit? Come on, man. Priorities, guys. You're really letting me down here. All right. I'll scroll up and find it. I'll scroll up. Don't worry. Damn, y'all are active in this Discord. Can you guys chill out a little bit? Holy. There's Rossi's face. That's That's not looking good, but seriously, I hope you're all right. Fuck is this comment, dude? You guys are killing me. Is it in the DC section, maybe? Am I fucking this up? Oh, God, why? Oh, I don't see it, man. Can somebody drop it in general? Come on. Come on. You know you want to. Come on. Oh, my. Rossi, $20 holla. Holy, man. Save the money. What are you doing? Obviously, I'm kind of going through it right now. I missed yesterday's stream. Went back and watched. Your decision made me so happy. It's the small things that get you hard times. What? Looking forward to the future. Much love. Hey, I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, look, we're gonna be just fine. I got all kinds of plans here. Hey, somebody got me. Appreciate it. All right, let's pull this up, man. Let me. You know what? I'm such a dummy. I probably Yep, I had already saved this earlier. It was in my downloads. All right, that's on me, Chad. All right, let me get this pulled up for you because I think it's kind of, I think it's like a rare super W take from Gunn. This is also something that, like, Michael Waldron had some incredible comments about this in the past. Okay, so Gunn says, if you're a Prime member, it's time to look up Superman is coming to a theater near you. For early access screening, tickets go on sale tomorrow. This guy says, why? Now people are going to spoil the movie on social media for 4 days straight. Even if they love it and ticket sales get a boost from word of mouth, there's still a risk of it backfiring due to international hateful reviews from people you've been trying to stir negativity about this movie from the beginning. Jesus. Gunn says, A, hearing a spoiler won't kill the movie. The enjoyment of the film isn't based solely on its surprises. Duh! But if you do, but if it is, what the fuck? But if it does concern you, please be careful of where you go online during those few days. Oh my God. Like, and my sort of thing with Gunn is like, get the fuck off the internet. However, this was on point. This is a salient point he's making here, man. It doesn't kill the movie because a film isn't its surprises. I mean, I think especially with like some of the coming conversations with AI, that's going to be a very important distinction. It's like music, man. Like Nietzsche had all these like really cool things to say about music because like music is not, it's not a race. You know what I mean? If it was a race, then the fastest song would be the best. The quickest song would be the best. But that's not what music is. Music is, you have the experience of the music. You are listening to the music and experiencing it. That is how you derive the enjoyment from it. And same thing with movies. Like, movies are not supposed to be this thing. It's an experience. It's something that like you need to sit and be in front of and hear, and like that creates an experience, right? And I also love how he sort of snarkily says, if it does concern you, you watch where you go online, motherfucker. And that's the truth. It's like, take some goddamn responsibility for yourself. Everybody's like, oh my God, the internet this, the internet that. Well, maybe like don't go on it. Maybe filter words out. Maybe like stop being such a useless fuck. So rare James Gunn W there. All right, cool. Let's get into it, man. Let's talk about this whole goddamn situation. This whole thing is crazy to me. So, what am I talking about here? I'm talking about how I got tricked by Amazon and Superman. And I want to take you through the whole experience here. So we're going to talk about this, of course, talking about the Amazon early showing for Superman, which, by the way, I did get tickets to. I'm excited. I'm going to see Superman early, but at what cost? $25 a ticket, actually. We're going to get into it. I want to explain this whole thing because this is funny, man. I got to give some flowers here. I got to say, game is game. They are really doing something kind of unique here. And I got caught up in it. I got absolutely tricked. I want to explain what's happening here. So I saw this very early in the morning, okay? I forget how early. You know, it was super early in the morning. It was while I was having my first cup of coffee, okay? Which, as a rule, I don't like to make purchases before I've had my first cup of coffee. That's a rule. It's a pretty good rule, okay? If I fucked up this time, because Luis Fernando says it's here to promote its Superman early screenings. Perk for Prime subscribers. Amazon Prime has released a truly emotional teaser that any true Superman fan surely will relate with. Those early screenings happen on July 8th, 7 p.m. pre-sakes. You have just kicked off on the website below. Okay, so I see this. Okay, I see this. And I get really excited. Okay, I watched the trailer. It's really good. Let's watch it together real quick because I need to set the table. You need to understand how all of my strings were played.
This isn't just for Superman! Bye, Joe. Whoa!
Prime members, see Superman early in select theaters July 8th.
I mean, come on, man. That was good. It's nostalgic. It's heartwarming. The kid was great in it. And then, yeah. So I see this very early on. Again, I want to be clear, before my first cup of coffee. Man, I got swept up in the hype. Okay, and so I moved at lightning speed, and I clicked the link, and I found a showing near me. By the way, none, obviously, where I live in a small town, right? So I don't like human beings and shit, so I like live in a small... there was nothing around me, so I checked out Pittsburgh. I found a showing in Pittsburgh. By the time I got in there, the theater was damn near sold out. And I was like, I gotta get these tickets before they're sold out. And so I went into the thing and I bought the 2 tickets. And then I looked at it, I was like, $50? That's kind of crazy. Whatever. We fucking made the purchase. And then I sat back. Okay, I felt good about it. I felt happy. I felt excited. And I started to think... a little bit here, okay? And I was like, wait a minute. Okay, so why did I have to click through a Amazon Prime confirmation link thing? I was like, okay, that was a little weird. I don't what's that about? And then, I was thinking about it and I was like, wait a minute, $25. $25 to take it? Like, and again, I don't live in a big town. I don't live in a big market, right? But tickets ain't $25 where I'm at. And even in Pittsburgh, I don't think they're $25. Even an IMAX ticket in Pittsburgh is probably like, I don't know, 17, 18 bucks or something like that. So I started to think about this a little bit. And I was like, wait a minute. What did I just do here? Okay. And I think the truth is a lot of people did this, obviously. And when you looked at the theater, it was almost sold out. That's like a whole bunch of people doing there and paying a shit ton of money for this thing. And so it's not free. As far as I can tell, it's not a reduced cost. As far as I can tell, you don't get anything extra. It's a movie I was going to see regardless. And so I started to think about it a little bit more. And I was like, God damn it, they fucking bamboozled me, man. They literally bamboozled me. And if you think about what they're really trying to do here, right? Think about what they're really trying to do. They're trying to get a bunch of ticket sales for this thing to boost the initial opening of this thing, to try to create hype and try to get people out there. It rings a little bit similar to what they did with the Fantastic Four, or rather with the Thunderbolts when they had that screening a couple of weeks before. Drop the big spoilers. They did do the same thing recently with Fantastic Four, right? Trying to get that Doctor Doom post-credit scene rumor out there. And so I think I just got tricked into paying extra to see a movie early that I was going to see regardless, thereby actually playing right into their hands and marketing this thing and helping to boost the box office of the initial weekend. Now, here's the thing. I still feel good about it somehow, okay? I still feel, honestly, y'all ever seen that Red Letter Media meme, the nerd crew? I mean, I was basically the fucking nerd crew. You know what I mean? Like, I'm basically the nerd crew. And somehow, some way, I'm still actually excited to check it out. And I'm excited to go see it. I'm going to probably make content around it or whatever. And I think, you probably got to say hats off to them. And they fucking got me, and they probably got a lot of other people too. And at the end of the day, game is game, right? Like this, I do feel a little weird about it. I do feel like there was a FOMO, there was a rush, there was the idea of exclusivity, all these different things, and then you take a step back and you're like, wait a goddamn minute here. Jeff Bezos, Gunn, you fuckers, you got me, man. You got me, and I think you got a whole bunch of other people too. So game is game, and I think it's pretty smart. A couple other things I want to say about this too. It almost feels very similar to what Fantastic Four did by putting its pre-sale tickets so early, bruh. Okay? And it just seems like, it honestly seems like, just hear me out on this, okay? It feels like both of these films looked at the competition of the July. Both of these films looked at what they needed to do. Both of these films were like, ooh. And it feels like both of these films were like, we need to find a way to break out of the traditional windows of how things would go here. With Fantastic Four, they did that trailer and the pre-sales way early, bro. They did pre-sales before Superman. They come out 2 weeks after Superman. Okay, but I think if you look at what Marvel did, they had a screening in Long Beach, made news, popped. The Doom thing was real. Obviously, the screening information that was a little bit like mixed. Like people were like, "Oh, it's mid" and shit like that. And then somebody's like, "Somebody yelled it was mid at Kevin Feige and he cried." And then, of course, that's not necessarily true, right? But point being, they do this public screening. They create the buzz. Then they have tickets go on sale the next week. It's pretty smart. And again, it's a way to get outside of the normal window for how this consumer behavior would happen. They did not want people to have already made their Superman purchases. And they did not want people to then go to make their Fantastic Four purchases and be like, I don't know, I'm going to see Superman. Maybe I don't need to see Fantastic Four. They wanted you to be like, bro, everybody's talking about this Fantastic Four movie. Oh my God, I need to get my tickets. It worked. It's a trick. It's a trick. It's sleight of hand. It's good marketing, right? But it's a trick. And it feels like Superman's doing the same thing. Superman's kind of like, I'm a little worried about that Jurassic World movie. What if we actually had a whole bunch of our screenings for this movie? Because I'm guaranteeing, I shouldn't guarantee, but it feels like obviously this is going to be preview night, right? All of that's going to be lumped into preview night, obviously, for the box office, right? So they were like, dude, let's sell a bunch of tickets, create FOMO 2 weeks before that shit even happens. It's like everybody's fucking breaking the rules, finding ways to get hype and to get ticket sales outside of the normal window where this behavior normally occurs. Is what I'm saying making sense to you? So again, it's like, damn, like, bro, there and also too, man, like, dude, that's kind of the way of the world. I think that's where things are going. There was a period of time within the last 4 years for sure, maybe even longer, where the studios seemed wildly out of touch with how internet conversations and internet traffic worked, right? I know for sure that over the past couple of years, some of the big viral things you think happened organically on like social media were actually engineered. Some of them by the studios, some of them by advertisers and marketers and like really smart people. So like what I'm saying to you is they're starting to catch up. They're starting to catch up. And it feels like you're going to get a lot more sophisticated viral marketing techniques or ways to create buzz and hype and get numbers. Like, bro, we are now in a new era, and with AI and how that's going to change the tech moving forward, like, damn, dude, it's getting really crazy. But I mean, this seems to have worked. Superman's trending. I think that trailer's great. My shit sold out. I would assume a lot of the other shit sold out. You're gonna get a big pop of buzz then. All those numbers are gonna go in a preview night. It is cushioned away from Jurassic in a way, right? Game is game. Game is game. This fucking guy, man, I continue to say, this guy that they hired, the ex-Disney guy that came in to do the marketing here, worth his weight in gold. These are, if this is his brainchild, if some of the other things we've seen are his brainchild, worth his weight in gold, man. Incredible stuff that is happening here. And again, I'm a guy that literally got. They fucking tricked me, dude. And yet I'm still there. I'm still going to go see it. I'm still talking about it with you here. I'm tweeting about it. Like, I'm playing right into their hands, even though I see behind the curtain. Pretty crazy stuff. Pretty interesting. So I would say kudos to the Superman team. W. Also, yeah, I'm going to watch it. I don't think we're under embargo or anything, so I'll make content about it after I go to see it. And we'll just see, man. We had heard, and we spoke to this, earlier this week, but also last week. Superman's budget of marketing is rumored to be $200 million, maybe more. Okay, so Superman and DC and Warner's, they're bringing out the big guns with Superman, dude. Like, they're bringing out the big guns, and they're fucking guns of the Navarone. Like, they are launching some serious firepower at this movie. We're gonna see. We're gonna see how it works. I would assume it will work. To the degree to which it affects the box office is yet to be seen. But I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? Like, what are you feeling out there in the air? Like, what did you see some stuff? Did you buy the tickets? I really feel like this thing's headed to $1 billion. I feel like this thing's headed to $1 billion. And maybe that's all the marketing, and the marketing's just meant to make you feel like that, so that there's social proof, so that everybody feels like they need to go do it. Again, though, that's just the game. Game is game. So if that's what it is, they're doing a great job, because it feels like Superman is an event. Feels like everybody's talking about Superman. It feels like everybody's going to go see Superman. This is crazy. So, I don't know. Would love to know what y'all think about this. Do you think I was silly to get caught up in this? Did you get caught up in this? What, chat? What the hell? What the hell is even this? It's because of those that bought tickets that they do this sort of marketing. Can't complain about it if you're the reason it's happening. Yeah, that's fair. But the thing is, I can't. Because I don't care if I'm a hypocrite. So, yeah. This feels like sponsorship. I have no idea what you're talking about, but yes. You're an adult? Do you, Papa? Superman looks horrible? I don't agree. I actually think it looks pretty good. I'm not feeling $1 billion, but it should do well. Plenty of tickets available out west. Oh, really? Okay. Tickets available out west. What are y'all doing? Waking up late? I also have been duped. There you go. We can do a little support group in the Discord later. Josh trying to pull a fast one on us? I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. What do you mean? You think this is a bit? You think I'm 6D chess, 7 layers deep in the marketing machine myself? You think I'm a James Gunn Manchurian candidate? For the right price, I absolutely would be. Warner Brothers, reach out. They already think I'm doing it. Fuck them. I don't know, man. Hope it makes $1 million. Yeah, I think it'll make at least $1 million. You know, I'm going to be honest. I think it'll make at least $1 million. You don't put Warhammer in there, Nightshade. I don't know what the hell. What are you talking about here, huh? This is a psyop to weed out soup fans. Absolutely, it is. 100%. $600 at best? Damn, okay. Abe, what up, brother? Thanks, man. Yep, family's good, healthy, everything's good over here, brother. Hope you're doing well, too. How much was the check James Gunn gave you? Not enough. Not enough, but a respectable amount, nonetheless. You know, and you know, some people are like, I saw some people on Twitter, and they were like, dude, how big was that shill check? And I literally deadass was like, Warhammer's a very expensive hobby. And I'm not even kidding. They came back and said, you know what, honestly, I respect that. You know? So it's like, if you understand how expensive Warhammer is, and you understand that, like, I need those grav tanks. I need those grav tanks, and I will get me them grav tanks. Then, you know, shilling for guns shit a little bit here and there, and a couple extra grav tanks, that's a good deal. That's a damn fine deal. I'd make that deal. Why do people hate Fantastic Four movie with the popcorn? What the fuck kind of question is that, brother? What do you mean? I don't know that anybody does hate it. What are you talking about? Josh, keep it a buck. Gunn lies will catch up to him. What? I don't know that they will, man. We live in a world where a lot of people's lies don't seem to catch up to them. We'll see. If you think Warhammer's expensive, try being a goalie. What does that mean, dude? Are you talking about a hockey goalie? I guess a hockey goalie, yeah, because you got to get those big leg pads, right? Is that what you're talking about? Next 20 minutes for tickets to officially go on sale. Oh, bro, so they're gonna bundle all these ticket sales together. They're smart, dude. They're shady, but they're smart, bro. That's crazy. They hate the price of the popcorn bucket, $80. I mean, $80 is fucking nuts for a popcorn bucket. I'm going to get 3. I don't understand the tabletop action figure painted guy part of it. Make a banger video game, and I'm in. Helldivers is low-key better. Wait a minute. Wait. You don't understand the tabletop game? Let me ask you a question. You ever roll dice? You ever pick up a 6-sided die, give it a little shake, give it a little toss? You ever try that? Well, if you've ever done that and you enjoyed it, you gotta try Warhammer on the tabletop, man. Then I pick up my money. That's what I mean, though. It's like, dude, of course, rolling dice. Of course, dice games. Hell yeah. Warhammer, you be rolling. They see me rolling. They should have hard rebooted, because why is Peacemaker canon? I mean, I agree with you, and I'm not really going to watch Peacemaker, so I don't know what the hell's going on over there. But I do think he has a way to figure that out. And to be fair to Gunn, every time I say to be fair to Gunn, I want to vomit like Gollum from the Lord of the Rings movies. To be fair to Gunn, Gollum, like just it makes me sick. To be fair to him, though, this is not so different than the soft reboot that I think Marvel Studios is going to attempt in a couple of years. So there you go. $80 is insane. It is but here, you know what else? I'm going to be honest with you, Mr. Savvy. Let's put things into perspective here, okay? Because to me, $80 is crazy for a popcorn bucket. But it's even more crazy for a version of Mario Kart that looks worse than the one that came out 7 years ago. I want to repeat that. I would rather pay $80 for a Galactus popcorn bucket than the new generation Mario Kart game. So it's all about perspective. Click Clack says, you're a loser. I'm just not buying his Clark Kent. Yeah, we'll see. You know, I have some concerns about that too. Chill, Josh. I'm just telling you. I'm telling you what it is from my perspective, man. From my perspective. Buy the bundle, save $30. I don't know what that means. I mean, Mario Kart World is pretty fun, though. Yeah, you know what else is fun? Holding my Galactus popcorn bucket while I watch the movie. And then staring at it as I set it on the shelf. Yeah, that's right. Fired mission goes back to ridiculous purchase. Yeah. Chris, you got a Switch 2? I'm coming over right now. Yeah, Switch 2, man. I don't know about that. I'd rather do the Xbox, John, because then I can play my Steam games and stuff like that, you know? Why is it you won't watch the new season of Peacemaker? Did you ever finish or watch the first season? Interested in hearing your opinion. Might agree on it. Just not my thing, man. Just super infantile, you know, very, you know, slapstick comedy. It's just very James Gunn. It's just not my thing. Yeah, it's just like a stylistic thing, you know? That's not really how I like my superheroes. I know some people like it, though. You know? And maybe the second season will do much better. I mean, the first season, frankly, guys, the viewership on that was abysmal. Like, it got less views than Miss Marvel on Disney+. That's saying something. However, Max or Discover, whatever, the fucking streaming service, it was much lower then. There were not as many people on it. They have actually had some stuff kind of pop. The Dune show did decent numbers. Some of their other shows on Max have done decent numbers too. So, you know, and like obviously House of the Dragon and shit does pretty well on there. So I would expect that Peacemaker Season 2 will do much better than the first season. And he also has the whole DCU thing, you know, that he's doing. But yeah, just not my thing. Steam Deck, Josh, I'm telling you, I think this Xbox thing is going to be a little bit of a better fit for me than the Steam thing. Yo, Josh, do the bucket giveaway via the Nerd Shop. I mean, I want to see if I still got it. Yeah, I bet you do, man. That'd be nice for you, huh? Yeah, we'll do them. I don't know how we'll do them, but we'll do them on the stream. Probably the Friday after I see the movie or whatever. Maybe an $80 popcorn bucket can hide my wood for, I think you're just going to say Sue Storm. Yeah, maybe so, man. Maybe so. Ascending Rumble says, I don't know about Warhammer, but I know Star Wars Black Series figures are a pretty expensive hobby as well. 25 a pop is rough. Oh my God. Yeah. I mean, 25, brother, you don't even want to know. You literally don't even want to know how expensive Warhammer is. If you're upset about $25 figures, you don't even want to see these numbers. You don't want to look at these pie charts. Okay, this Venn diagram send you into a tailspin. You don't want none of that. You don't want none of this, do we? Anyway. Let's talk about some other things, man. That's a Superman thing. Guys, you know what? How about this? One more thing before we get off of this. Did I get tricked? Did I get bamboozled? Yes or no? Did Jeff Bezos and James Gunn, did they trick me? Should I go to the polls? Did I get bamboozled? And the thing is, too, since it's Jeff in there and he's kind of jacked, like, I'm not going to say shit. If it was just Gunn, I'd be like, get out of here. But he's got fucking Jeff Bezos looking like Ben Grimm. I'm not saying shit. Boom. There you go. Yeah, you paid for an advanced screening. You paid a little extra to view it early. Yeah, and I think that I probably shouldn't have. That's what I'm saying. Hello? That's the point. That's what I'm saying. Lots of people couldn't get tickets. You got to wait 15 minutes for official to drop. Oh, okay. Now you love superhero movies. It is what it is. It's true. It's true. It's true. I still don't get the Amazon Prime thing. Like, I just don't understand it, you know? Like, it's fine, but, like, I'm one of those guys that's like, there are no altruistic corporations, right? So I was in Verizon the other day, and I was getting a new phone, and they were like, the lady was like, we're going to upgrade you to the Unlimited Plus plan. And I was like, what's the fucking catch, lady? She's like, what do you mean? I was like, lady, you're upgrading me to a cheaper plan? What's the catch? And finally, I wore her down, and she was like, okay, they want you to sign up for these individual package things where they'll bundle your subscriptions. And I was like, yep, don't want that. And she's like, what do you mean? You don't want to save money? I was literally like, yeah, no, I don't want them to get me like they get every other person that walks into this store. I know how the purchasing clearances things work. I know about those little fees. I know what's happening here. I don't want to help you out at all. I'd literally rather pay more for Netflix and for more of some of these other things than allow that company to start to gather up everybody's confirmed purchases to get those little micro. I know. I don't want none of it. So that's like, and by the way, probably stupid on my part, honestly. Because just save the money. Like, fuck it, dude. You know, like, look at the world. Fuck it. Just save a little money. But I'm so stubborn that I would rather pay more. Right? Yeah, it's very stupid. Yeah, 100%, man. Hey, you know what? Pollock. Through and through. You understand? So yeah, not about that. But somehow, some way, Superman fucking got me, man. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. All right, let's talk about the Thunderbolts. So, Thunderbolts is a movie, and it came out, and it did not do good. And I have kind of said over and over again, I thought it was a flop. I thought it was looking like a flop, and I thought it was pretty much confirmed to be a flop. I mean, again, this is a movie that, like, it's great. I like the movie a lot. You know, really good time with the movie, but it cost $200 million. They had to have marketed it. And so it lost money. And the last we saw, a lot of people said it would probably lose around $100 million. Okay. So enter this article here on TV Fandom Lounge. I have no idea what TV Fandom Lounge is, but I found this article on Reddit. So we're going to talk about it here, okay? While Thunderbolts may not be a box office hit, it's no flop either. Wah, wah, wah. And its positive reception will translate to digital success of an estimated $150 million. Interesting. Let's see what they have to say. Marvel Studios' Thunderbolts has been a creative win for the studio. I would agree with that, with nearly everyone who's seen it singing its praises. This is true, too. I myself watched the film twice and enjoyed it even more the second time, as it deeply resonated with me on an emotional level. However, its box office performance suggests that despite all of the marketing push and the goodwill surrounding the film, its fate reflects a new and evolving reality for Marvel. Thunderbolts hasn't been the box office hit that the studio had hoped for. Despite glowing reviews and enthusiastic word of mouth, Thunderbolts only managed a $162 million global debut. And while its second weekend hold was solid, the film has lacked the staying power needed to significantly grow its totals. The late reveal of the film, actual title, The New Avengers, was presumably intended to generate buzz, but failed to have the desired impact. This is true, and I reported on that, and some people got butthurt about it, but it's true. Even the inclusion of the Avengers brand couldn't ignite the interest from the casual moviegoers, and this points to a deeper issue. The MCU no longer feels like essential viewing, especially on the big screen. After a string of lackluster entries across both film and television, the Marvel brand has lost much of the goodwill that it built during the Infinity Saga. So far, so good. Totally fair. I totally agree with everything. After only a month in theaters, Thunderbolts currently sits at $186 million domestic and $375 million globally, meaning it will likely end its run around $380 to $385 mark. But all things considered, is Thunderbolts a flop, like many have been quick to label it after its box office run? Were we really quick to label it, though? Were we really that quick to label it, though? While the total may appear soft for a Marvel ensemble film as Avengers reveal, it's also important to consider the broader industry context. Fair. With the cost of living, ticket prices rising, the gap between theatrical and digital shrinking, audiences are far more selective about what they'll pay to see in theaters. That's fair. It's not an undeniable event film. Many will just wait for the digital release, for the movie to come out on streaming service, or for which they are already paying a significant amount. Thunderbolts was poised to do very well in VOD and streaming space, thanks to the glowing reviews, strong audience reception, which Marvel Studios really needed after Brave New World. Even films with poor critical and audience reception, such as Joker Folie à Deux and Kraven the Hunter, have made $140 million and $90 million respectively through their digital and streaming runs, according to Deadline. Thunderbolts, whose break-even point is 450 and currently holds a Rotten Tomatoes score of 88%, IMDb score of 7.6, is the very least surefire lock to surpass 130 million that the Marvels made on digital and streaming. That is actually fair. X9008, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. Let's give some context here. We've heard the argument. Do we agree? So, absolutely, a lot is true here, and I think the thing that I find to be the most concerning about this whole situation was the new Avengers switch. I mean, frankly, it's one of those things where if they had not done that new Avenger thing, I don't know that I would have went as hard on the movie, but the fact they went that hard and they were trying all this stuff. Robert Downey Jr. is talking about seeing the movie. I mean, that's the first time he ever talked about seeing a Marvel movie since he left. It just seemed like they pulled out a lot of stops and it had basically no effect. Okay? That to me was pretty shocking and pretty concerning for the space, for the Marvel brand, but especially, for Thunderbolt movie specifically, right? Now, of course, I think it's fair to point out that the film was received very well. And in this sort of changing paradigm of the industry and the changing paradigm of theatrical releases and how that all works, yeah, I would assume it's going to do very well on digital. But here's the thing. It's not as though we don't have films that are breaking in and making a lot of money. And, while this movie's in theaters, you have Lilo and Stitch. And before the movie gets in there, you have Minecraft. So, money's being made. It's not like the entire industry has diminished so much that there are not movies that are making a lot of money. Marvel used to occupy that space. Marvel was making a lot of money in the theaters while the industry was declining. That's what it was. That's what they were doing. And so it's just kind of weird. And I think it's like a little bit of a cop-out to say, oh, Marvel, who traditionally was above this trend, is now just being wrapped up into the trend. And it's just the new way things go, right? I think it's just a little disingenuous. But here's the thing. I do think it is fair to point out that the digital sales aspect of this film will be very strong. And these numbers are interesting, right? So you have Joker Folie à Deux making $140 million on digital. Seems pretty good considering what the movie made in box office. I mean, that's pretty close to what it actually made in its total theatrical run. And Kraven the Hunter, same thing. That $90 million on digital is probably very close to what it actually made in the box office here. $130 million to the Marvels. That's good, but don't forget the Marvels is still the biggest box office bomb in the history of Hollywood. What this article is not telling us is how much is Lilo and Stitch said to make digitally. How much is Minecraft said to make digitally? And then we can compare the two, right? So I think it's a little bit unfair that you're trying to take a movie that underperforms in the box office, and then you're trying to use math from digital sales to cushion that failure. But if that's a reality for everybody in the industry, then if you put this thing on like a Nielsen-like chart, I don't think it gets even close. Okay? So I think this is wishful thinking and cope, to be completely honest with you. However, I will say this. From what I understand, there are movies out there, most notably The Flash, that was rejected in theaters, but also rejected digitally. Now, we don't have the numbers for that, but from what I've heard, the digital sales for The Flash were very bad. And what I mean is there are some movies that perform so badly that they're not going to make money in the movie theaters. They're not going to make money digitally. They're basically not going to make money at all. Okay? And I think it's interesting that you look at a movie like Kraven, and then you look at a movie like The Marvels being the biggest box office bomb in the history of Hollywood, Brie Larson being a pretty polarizing figure, people just not wanting to support that movie, and it makes almost $50 million in digital sales more than Kraven. To me, that just means like, dude, Kraven kind of got rejected by digital audience. That 90 is not that great, actually, probably compared to other movies of a similar size. So I guess what I'm saying is you would imagine Thunderbolts will perform better than all of those movies. And I did bring this up while we were talking about Thunderbolts, even maybe like week 2 or 3 when the box office numbers were coming out. I did even say one time, I was like, yeah, this will probably do a lot better on digital than a lot of the other movies they've had. And I think even Captain America did well on digital, but they don't bring it up on that article. So it must not have done that great on digital. You know what I mean? Otherwise, it would be included in those numbers there, right? So I think what we're looking for is Thunderbolts will perform a lot better digitally, and that'll probably just be like over time, man. Like, I think the film has a chance to be considered sort of a cult classic of the MCU catalog, especially if these particular characters go on to do a bunch of stuff in the next two Avengers films, if they're heavily involved in what happens next in the MCU. In the Mutant Saga, people are going to go back and revisit Thunderbolts, New Avengers, to see how that all began. And frankly, it's just a really good movie. Like, I really enjoy the film. Right? So, interesting report here. I think there's certainly some truth in what they're saying, but ultimately it just still feels like we're being a little unfair here in how we're treating Thunderbolts with kid gloves. Like, why is it such a problem that Thunderbolts is a movie that flopped that's great? Like, why is that a problem? Like, why can't we just say that? You know what I mean? Because there are a lot of movies I love that were a flop. I mean, for fuck's sake, the first Matrix was essentially a flop in theaters, and then it went on to do incredible, in VHS sales, DVD sales, and shit like that, right? The last Mission Impossible movie before this was a flop. Dungeons and Dragons was a flop. And these movies are incredible, right? So, like, what's the problem, dude? That one flop didn't kill the Tom Cruise, John. You know what I mean? Ballerina's making $25 million in an opening week, and we're all supposed to think that's brilliant. So I do think perspective is important here. Marvel's not, like, totally fucked, but you do want to look at that number compared to where it was. It's obviously obvious that the audience is not checking it out the same way. It's obvious. So I think you need to lean into event film, bigger brands, bigger spectacle, and I think they are going to do that. So Spider-Man 4 is about to be Spider-Man 4 brand new cameo day. You know what I mean? So Marvel making a change, making a pivot, but I still think Thunderbolts is a flop. I don't think it's a problem to say that. Thunderbolts is a flop. Maybe you disagree. Maybe after hearing the article, you understand why people think that it's not a flop. Totally on you to, make up your own mind on that. As far as I'm concerned, it's a flop. Oh, well. Oh, well. The Matrix was not a flop. Almost $500 million on a $65 million budget. Is that true? So what I had always heard about The Matrix was that because of Combine, it really underperformed in the box office. Let's see here. Oh, damn. Holy. Okay, yeah, I was just like wrong about that. I guess it just did really well on DVD and home. Final domestic gross of 170. Worldwide, it did really well, though. Okay, so yeah, definitely not a bomb. Yeah, no, definitely not. What was the other one? Some of you said it wasn't, what was the last Mission Impossible? Fallout or Dead Reckoning? Let's see. Okay, Dead Reckoning was a bomb, though, because it literally cost almost $300 million due to delays and reshoots, and it only made 567. So it lost a lot of money. But yeah, I was wrong about The Matrix. That's interesting, man. I actually did. I do not remember that. I remember, and maybe it's like what do they call it? The Mandela effect or whatever. But I just remember having a lot of conversations with people where they were like, dude, the Matrix movie got hurt by Combine. It would have done so much better. And I just assumed it didn't make money. That's kind of wild. Interesting. Yep. That's all on that one. Now I want to talk a little bit about Mortal Kombat. Chat, how many of you guys watched the first Mortal Kombat movie? I'm talking not about the OG ones, but like the one that they did with the dude from Shogun as Scorpion. Came out during the pandemic, pretty close to when Godzilla vs. Kong came out. How many guys watched that? Y'all like it? I actually liked it. You know, it didn't blow me away, But I was like, it has fun combat. It had some of the nostalgic moves. It had some people hated it. It had some really cool fatalities that I liked. Obviously could have been a lot better, but I did enjoy it. Yeah. Interesting. Well, hated it. Well, they're making another one of those Mortal Kombat. This is a direct sequel to the one that came out, during the pandemic and all that. I liked the movie. Some of you guys liked it. Yeah. But I will say that the buzz for this second one, it's building. And it's starting to get some serious hype here. So let's look at this here. Mortal Kombat 2 made test audiences cheer and jump out of their seats like Avengers Endgame did. Its writer says. Damn. That's high praise. The fights, the fatalities, the surprises, the deaths. I think we nailed it, he said. Very interesting. And of course, they are bringing in Johnny Cage. Let's read this article here on Dextero, which goes over the whole situation here. Mortal Kombat 2 test screenings were like Avengers Endgame for Mortal Kombat fans. That's high praise. Mortal Kombat 2 is set to be bigger and funnier than the first film. And according to the sequel's writer, the reactions have been comparable to Avengers Endgame. The first Mortal Kombat had fights, fatalities, plenty of gore, and great Easter eggs for those that have played the games. It also had a big problem. It didn't feature the titular tournament. That's true, actually. That's true. That's going to change in Warner Bros.' highly anticipated follow-up to the video game movie. As the sequel was being developed, screenwriter Jeremy Slater was adamant that it would include the tournament rather than making the viewers wait another movie and be like, come back for the finale. Fair. It's the best lesson the film could have learned from its predecessor, and going by the response in the test screenings, their hard work has already paid off. Oh, but wait, I thought we didn't talk about test screenings. I thought we weren't supposed to talk about test screenings. Superman had bad test screenings, but we're not supposed to talk about it. Everybody said Fantastic Four was mid, but we're not supposed to talk about it. Mortal Kombat 2 writer is so excited for fans to see it. Speaking of comicbook.com, Slater said, it's tremendous honor and incredibly cool to be involved in the project, especially as a lifelong fan of Mortal Kombat. It was genuinely surreal. Look through my phone and there's pictures of me next to Raiden, Katina, Baraka, he said. I am so excited for people to see the movie. And it's done for a while. We've been waiting for the right release date and waiting for the right window. I have been to those test screenings, which are full of Mortal Kombat fans, and watched them react to it the way I reacted to Avengers Endgame. They were cheering, jumping out of their seats. Every joke is landing, and they're loving it. It's one of the greatest moments of my life. That's why you get into the business. I mean, dude, I'm going to be real. Like, I was totally ready to be like, this feels like some fluff. Yeah, this feels like he's just hyping it up. That rings as he had an authentic experience and was pretty excited to see how fans were enjoying it. So that is really, really cool. Here's something that Ed Boon said about it. And we should just look at this, man, because these first looks do look really cool here. Johnny Cage, played by Carl Urban, Katana, whatever. And then Shao Kahn and Scorpion. Let's look at this here. Looks pretty good. She looks good. Oh, shit. Johnny Cage. Is he going to do the split and punch Gordo in the nuts again? That's from the old movies. The first film had a big roster, but Mortal Kombat 2 is taking it even further. Johnny Cage, Katana, Jade, Quan Chi, Shao Kahn, Sindel, Baraka will appear alongside the sequel's returning cast. That made it exciting and incredibly challenging for Slater. It was finding a structure to make the tournament as satisfying as he wanted it to be, because this had years of build-up, he explained. It's figuring out who the individual matches are going to be. Oh, yeah, that would be really fun. Just thinking about the matches. Which characters do you want to pair off for maximum emotional impact, but also for the most dynamic fights? And then also, what is the larger story you're trying to tell between the tournament? Don't worry too much about that, Jeremy. Then making sure when you get to those moments that matter, the fights, the fatalities, the surprises, the death, that they land and that they are satisfying to everyone wants them to be. I think we nailed it. They had the best stunt team in the business working on this thing. The actors are phenomenal. It's so much funnier and bigger than the first movie. Now, some people, chat, and I want to know here, some people are taking issue with this funnier comment here. What are you guys thinking? Because some people are like, wait, what? Funny? I don't want my Mortal Kombat to be funny. Who did this? Fucking James Gunn? You know? I don't know. I mean, I'm not really bothered by it. I think funny's fine. Funny can be fun, dude. You know what I mean? At the same time, sure. Could be a little too slapstick, you know? I don't know. We'll see. Mortal Kombat 2 will hit cinemas in October 24, 2025. Oh my God. October of this year. Let's go. Until then, check out our list of the Backtrack movies of all time. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. So, what do you think, man? What do you think, guys? Avengers Endgame level? Mortal Kombat fans jumping out of their chairs? Interesting. I did want to just add this to it as well. Cryptic HD says, that's good to hear, considering the film had multiple test screenings. However, the film is said to be a major improvement from the first. Intense fights, same pacing. So he's sort of confirming the story, talking about how they did a lot of tests, and it's supposed to be a major improvement on the first film. That's good to know, man. I don't know. I'm kind of excited to see the Mortal Kombat movie. Am I crazy here, or are we all excited for the Mortal Kombat movie, chat? What do you think? If Johnny Cage is the funny guy, if it's relegated to him, then it should be fine. That's what I'm saying, right? Like Johnny Cage doing just some comments here after every death or fatality. That feels fine. James Gunn revealed Wonder Woman movie in development. Thoughts? Where's that at? Can somebody link me that? I'll check it out for sure if that's real. I just, no offense to you, random person in chat. But, I don't know if I can just believe you, you know? Cool. Somebody, if it's real, somebody let me know. Is it real? Is that real? Or am I on a wild goose chase? Here. All right. Anyway, back to the point here. Mortal Kombat. Isn't this a Warner Brothers John too, right? Like, so yeah, this is another potential big franchise for them, something that could go right. EW Wonder Woman spinoff. Okay, excellent. So the Wonder Woman thing seems to be real. Wonder Woman officially being worked. Okay, cool. We'll talk about that in just a second, okay? We'll talk about that in just a second. Appreciate that though. Thank you, Chet. Thank you. So for me, man, I like the fact that Johnny Cage is in here. I think that at some level, anytime you bring up Avengers Endgame, like you're playing with fire a little bit, it's just shorthand for like, this is the best fucking thing ever. And it does sort of feel like people are still chasing that Marvel thing. And if this were to work, absolutely, you could have a lot of other Mortal Kombat movies. I think Mortal Kombat is a type of franchise that if they approach it a little bit more like John Wick, that is to say, like, John Wick is more style over substance. It's just like this really hyper stylized, assassin world that feels very comic booky in a sense. And it's really just all about the fighting, man. John Wick, without its fighting and its action, would not be anything. And so it's a very simple formula that they've been able to sort of double and triple down on. And the best John Wick movie is not that different than the other ones. It's just doing what all of them do at a higher level. And I love those movies. And I think that Mortal Kombat is similar. And so therefore, yeah, that definitely makes sense. This, I think, could be a big franchise for them. It seems like they really swung for the fences with this one. They got some big star power. They did a shit ton of screenings. I would imagine they spent a lot of money, man. You don't make a movie like this with a ton of screenings and then change it up and make these changes without spending a lot of money. So they did spend a lot on this. I'm excited. I'm excited, man, and I enjoyed the first one. It's definitely not fine art or anything like that. And yeah, I wanted a tournament, but with that now actually coming in to the second one, feels right. So there you have it, chat. Mortal Kombat. Is this going to join some of the other big video game franchises out there? We talk a lot about this. Video game franchises seem to be the next big thing, or at least the next big thing that Hollywood thinks is going to pop off in the zeitgeist. And so you can see a ton of video game projects popping up from different studios. Mortal Kombat is maybe one of the most successful of all of them, right? Because, I mean, if you think about it, those old Mortal Kombat movies, they weren't like smash hits or whatever, but I mean, I think a lot of people enjoyed them. I think they had their space in the zeitgeist. I think they had pop culture references. So Mortal Kombat maybe sort of revitalized for this new era of video game franchises being the next big thing. We shall see, you know? We'll see. I'm excited for it. All right. Can't wait for the Rocket League movie. Well, you know what? I can't imagine a Rocket League movie being good or entertaining, but I would have told you the same thing about Minecraft. I would tell you the same thing about Minecraft. I was like, there's no way Minecraft's going to be successful. And yeah, it was. So I guess it just kind of depends, man. C-Swerve says Entertainment Weekly just announced Wonder Woman. Yeah, we're going to talk about that in just a second here. Let me just catch up on some chats, and then we'll get into that, okay? Those silver cheeks and Sue Storm. God damn. Thanks for the gifted membership. Ibsy says, it's not a fucking family show. It's a fucking family stream now. True. Facts. All right, let's get into this. Let's talk about this. Breaking news. We've been wondering what's the deal with Wonder Woman in the DCU. Wonder Woman, part of the DC Trinity, incredibly popular. Also, she's a woman. So that I don't know if you knew that. But you probably want to have one of the most popular female characters of all time, like represented in your new universe. Okay, here we go. Entertainment Weekly says, Wonder Woman movie officially in the works, being written right now. Exclusive. James Gunn, the writer-director of Superman and the co-head of DC Studios, gives EW an exclusive update on the status of the Amazon from Themyscira. In May 2025, earning call with investor David Zaslav, the head of Warner Brothers Discovery, shared some interesting intel about DC. He named Superman, Batman, Supergirl, and Wonder Woman as crucial characters to the superhero universe that James Gunn and Peter Safran, the co-heads of DC Studios, are building across film and TV. The Superman movie, starring David Corenswet, will hit theaters on July 11th, followed by Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, starring Millie Alcock, in June of 2026. The Dark Knight film, inspired by Grant Morrison's Batman and Son comic storyline, was also announced early on, but we haven't heard much on the Wonder Woman front. In a new exclusive interview with Entertainment Weekly ahead of the launch of Superman, Gunn officially confirms that a Wonder Woman movie is in development as we speak. Wonder Woman, a separate thing to the already announced Paradise Lost HBO Max series, which is slow moving, but it's moving, Gunn says. We're working on Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's being written right now. Gal Gadot starred as Diana Prince in the previous era of DC films during Zack Snyder's BVS Dawn of Justice, followed by 2 Wonder Woman movies, director Patty Jenkins in a Justice League movie, and cameos in Shazam and The Flash. Plans for Gadot's third solo outing as a beloved comic book character were scrapped once Gunn and Safran were appointed to the lead DC and usher in a new cinematic universe. I was open to considering anything asked of me, Jenkins commented in 2022 of the canceled Wonder Woman 3. It was my understanding there was nothing I could do to move anything forward at this time. DC is obviously buried in change they are having to make, so I understand the decisions are difficult right now. This was during that time period where Gunn was firing all of the DCU actors and trying to act like he wasn't firing all of the DCU actors. Gunn confirms that he has not yet cast the role of Wonder Woman in the new DCU, but he also clarifies Zaslav's comments. I think that's accurate, actually. He says of Superman, Batman, Supergirl, Wonder Woman being crucial characters of the franchise. I think he got that from something I said. What? I would say only those 4 characters, but I would say that those 4 characters are incredibly important to us right now. Right now, I feel great about where 2 of those characters are, and then we're dealing with the other 2. Okay, so is that really it? So all he is saying is that Wonder Woman is being written right now, and he confirms that it's a movie, not a show. Okay, that's really not a lot, guys. I'll riff on that for a little bit, but like that's really not that groundbreaking. So I guess what this would indicate is they are going to do something with Diana in movie form. This is separate from Paradise Lost, which could potentially star like a young Diana. Like maybe this is when Diana's young, or maybe it's before she's even born. And so you could still like flesh out a lot of stuff with a Wonder Woman Game of Thrones style show on Themyscira. So the Amazons, of course, but their connection to the Greek gods, their connection to the pantheon of like Kirby Fourth World stuff. Like there's a lot of cool stuff you could build with that whole thing. But the fact that he's saying it's moving, but moving slow, I mean, that's not really good. That's not really what you want to hear. So I would assume that the Wonder Woman movie, would take a higher priority and probably go into production faster, okay? So that's good news. I mean, if you're a big Wonder Woman fan, which I love the Wonder Woman character, I think the first Wonder Woman movie, which was heavily crafted by Zack Snyder and Patty Jenkins together, I think that movie is important. I love that film. I think it's one of the greatest comic book movies ever made. It was a movie that I like dragged my mom and my sisters to, because I was like, you guys got to see this. This is like where our worlds, intersect and shit. It was great. I love that film. And then, of course, without Zack Snyder, she completely flounders working with Jeff Johns on the second one. But, all that to be said, Wonder Woman's a really important character. It was crazy to me that Gunn had launched his DC universe without a concrete plan for Diana. That seems fucking crazy to me. I suppose it's possible she could pop up in maybe Supergirl or maybe one of these other films, especially if they're really building towards this. But yeah, this is cool. I would love to know who's writing it, right? And of course, I think we'll learn more if it gets to the point where they're going to greenlight it. I will say this too. I wonder if Gunn is like mad that this is even coming out, because, he sort of announced a lot of stuff initially and then walked back on all of that. And ever since then, Gunn has not really publicly talked a lot about the plan or the films that are coming. And I think he sort of learned his lesson where he was like, yeah, we should keep all this kind of behind closed doors, because essentially stuff fell apart. Sometimes the scripts weren't ready. And I think the way they want to do things there is different from Marvel, because they want a finished script before they go into it. Marvel's very confident, maybe they shouldn't be, but they are to this day still really confident in their ability to find the film in the production, rather than go in with like a concrete idea of what the script in the film is going to be. So the fact that the script is being worked on within that context is potentially bigger news than it would be for like Marvel when you hear about development. So I hope this thing comes together, man. Wonder Woman's a great character, very important to DC. I think she's really important to some of these other bigger characters, and the way she relates to Superman, the way she relates to Bruce. I think all of that is really important. There's also some really interesting stuff that goes on with like Kara and the Amazons. So there are some moments in comics where, depending on the writer, Kara, because she's sort of a pistol and wild, does for a time get taken to Themyscira, and is, trained and socializes with the Amazons and whatnot. I remember that was in one of the Bruce Timm animated series, maybe Batman and Superman, something. It was when Kara lands, and then they eventually go to Apocalypse at the end of the film. So, you could kind of see how he's cooking all of this together, and I think it could work. But I don't know. What do you think, guys? We're getting a Wonder Woman movie, but that's pretty much it. They're not really saying too much more about it. Any thoughts, comments, questions here, guys? What do you think? Or like Star Wars announcing loads of projects and none of them happening. Fair. Yeah, absolutely fair. It doesn't look good, you know? Gunn talks about a Superman sequel as well in the EW article. Oh, that's great. What did he say about that? I wish they had just brought that up in this same article here. But that's good. I mean, look, according to Jeff Snyder, the next one is going to be World's Finest. And World's Finest might actually replace that Batman movie that he was going to make. So, I don't know. I heard that in Snyder's version, the Olympians were actually from Krypton. I think there was a potential thread there that he was going to do, but yeah. Yeah. I'd prefer a Batman movie first. Sure. But also, World's Finest would be dope. I think World's Finest, those two characters together, is great. Replace the Brave and the Bold? I think it might, yeah. Did you see Snyder on the hot mic saying Gunn doesn't want a Batman 2 to happen? Well, I mean, I didn't see that, but we've talked about that a lot. I mean, I think if I were Gunn, I wouldn't want it to happen either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily fault him for that. And I think, you know, the delay, which is, you know, it's not anybody's fault per se, because, you know, there might be like some health, you know, personal stuff going on there. But frankly, like, the delay is hurting Gunn, because the more that film gets delayed, he has to wait for his Batman. You know what I mean? And like, dude, say what you will, like, you can have all the empathy in the world for whatever people are going through. But at the same time, like, dude, it's show business, man. This is business. And like, I don't know that I would just wait to do my Batman. I'd probably cancel Batman 2 as well. Yeah, I know. But is it a straight up Superman sequel? I would not say necessarily. Oh, that's from the article? Yeah, that lines up with Jeff's reporting. It's probably World's Finest, man. I think World's Finest is the next one, yeah. Benicio del Toro for Wonder Woman or bust? I don't know who that is, man. Gunn's wife will be Wonder Woman? Doubt it, but she could be in the film. Doubt it. I understand why he's doing Supergirl and Lanterns, but other than that, he should be focused on the Trinity instead of Clayface and bullshit like that. I mean, I agree with you. I really don't understand the Clayface thing, especially because you lose Flanagan, and it just, I just don't feel like there's a lot of evidence that that is the move. Yeah, I know. They should wait for Superman's box office first before greenlighting all these projects. Oh, I think they are. I think they are. I think Gunn's writing something, but that doesn't mean it's greenlit. Yeah, I know. Hey, Josh, did you see that Warner Brothers bought the rights to Tyler Sheridan movie from Paramount with Scalana as the lead? I think that's good to get him in the studio. Fancast Batman. I would love that. I don't think it's going to happen, though. I'd love for that to be what they were doing. I do not think that's what they're doing, though. We need the Brave and the Bold. I would love Brave and the Bold. I like Damian a lot, right? So, like, Damian, man, that's such a cool idea. But maybe you just take the Brave and the Bold story with Superman. You know what I mean? Because, like, imagine, like, Superman trying to help Bruce. The kid's a murderer. You know what I mean? But they also have to, like, respect the father thing. I don't know. Could work. That story would have been IS. I mean, maybe. You never know. Are people forgetting the last time DC movie had this much hype was The Flash, and we know how that went? I don't think The Flash had hype at all. I think The Flash had like a year and a half of us talking about Ezra. Josh, check the Discord, LMAO. Oh, man, I don't know about that. What are we talking? Oh, with the... Uh-oh, are the actual tickets on sale too now? Oh, geez. Oh, geez. Oh, geez. They're crashing shit. So what are we talking about here? Why is this the worst? He's got Rachel on the thing? Like, what is this here? Oh, I see. This fucking guy. Yeah, I mean, Gunn, obviously, Look, here's what I'll say about it, okay? I think that they're saying is, like, Gunn has himself on all these covers. He's, like, really inserted himself. Here's the thing. Like, I want to be fair to Gunn here. I'll tell you both sides of this because, like, is it true that he's absolutely just inserting himself everywhere and we can all see exactly what's going on and it feels super cringy and we're like, dude, you're not Superman. Get the fuck out of these pictures. That is absolutely true and it is completely fair to feel that way. Here's the other side of it, though. Here's the other side of it. He is not even being paid properly to do this job, from what I understand. So he has to take advantage of every single aspect of this deal in this position that could help him, regardless of what happens with DC. So to hedge, he has to be as front-facing as possible. Therefore, his own personal brand, he can, like, extract more value out of this situation, okay? And I know that seems, like, weird or whatever, but I think that's just truly what it is. Like, from what I understand, Jon Favreau gets paid more to make one movie than Gunn is being paid to be the president of this company, the co-president, whatever it is. So, with that in mind, like, look, even a person like me that's like, dude, get him the fuck out of here. Like, I straight up feel that way. I also have to acknowledge that if I were in the same position, I'd be trying to get every little thing I could out of Warner Brothers, and that includes, like, my face everywhere. You know what I mean? It's just branding. It's like when a president puts their name on the relief check. You know what I mean? And they're like, I want my name on that. It's just branding, you know? So he's just playing the game. Doesn't mean we have to like it. Yeah, no. But I also I understand it. You know, I understand what he's doing, and I can't really fault him for that. Also, we need more likes. What the fuck? 366 likes? 366 likes? What the fuck? All right, so there you have it, guys. Some updates there. Pretty wild with that Wonder Woman, John, huh? That's kind of interesting there. Wow. Okay, we got a couple other things I want to talk about here, guys, and then we'll get on out of here. You know what? Maybe we could skip the Hulu thing. I mean, the Hulu thing's not really that big of a deal. So the only thing that's going on with Hulu is Disney has finally acquired all of Hulu. And I do think that's great because Hulu actually has some shows that perform better than a lot of Disney Plus shows. Hulu has a better... I don't want to say Hulu has a better brand, even though I think they do. What Hulu really has is better built-in consumer behavior. Like, the people that go on Hulu, they will actually go on it and browse. They will actually go to it thinking that there's something in there that they would want to watch. And there's been original Hulu programming that people really like. You know, Prey was a big hit for them. This new Predator thing was a big hit. I think Alien Earth, which I believe comes out on Hulu, I think that's going to be a big hit for them. Hulu's great. And frankly, you know, some people, like, I've heard Grace have this point, Grace Randolph, she said she thinks the Disney Plus shows should go to Hulu. I don't think that's a bad idea. I think that's probably a good idea. I think Hulu is literally a better platform in that sense. When people think of Disney Plus, they think of Bluey, they think of, like, the Babysitter app. Like, Disney Plus, nobody goes to Disney Plus to see what's on Disney Plus. You either know exactly what you're going for or you're not going. So I think Hulu in that sense has a better consumer behavior. So that's kind of interesting. Disney locking up the full control of Hulu. This one here, guys, like, we'll talk about this a little bit. It's kind of wild. Warner Brothers Discovery split into two companies. Now, we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but bro, like, it's like exactly what we were talking about yesterday. And there's some there's some really interesting things here, including a chart or a graphic I want you to see. But the separation is expected to be completed by 2026. Zaslav will head the streaming and studios company. And the yet-to-be-named TV company, they don't even have a fucking name for it. You know what the name for it is? Put all of our goddamn debt in it. Led by Gunnar, currently CFO of Warner Brothers Discovery. The majority of Warner Brothers Discovery's debt, which stood at about $34 billion, will be assigned to the TV networks. The company that doesn't even have a fucking name is going to get the bulk of the debt. Check this graphic out. This graphic really makes it... Can I not open this? This graphic really makes it make sense, okay? This is awesome, dude. Okay. Let's start with the streaming stuff. It's got all the Warner Pictures stuff. It's got DC Studios. It's got Warner Brothers Television, Warner Brothers Games. It's got HBO, HBO Max, New Line Cinema, TNT Sports, International, and the Olympic coverage. Those all seem pretty good. What's this one got? Discovery, BR, HGTV, Playoffs, CNN, TV, and TNT, TLC, Eurosport, Nova, NCAA, Cartoon Network, Food Network, TBS, NHL, DMAX, Adult Swim, which I like Adult Swim, but nobody watches that shit. The Baseball, Olympic, Discovery Plus, TNT Sports. One of these things seems good. One of these things seems bad. This is crazy, dude. Like, I honestly can't. I don't even know how you do this, but I'd love to be able to do this, right? Like, imagine if I took the Den of Nerds, right? And I took all the shitty videos, all the shitty business decisions I've made over the years, and I put it into one company. And then I put all the best videos, all the best performing things, all the things I did right in one company. And then I assigned all of my debt to the shitty company to make the other company way more valuable. Like, dude, this is so crazy to me. I can't even believe that this is real. But I just wanted to follow up because the Hollywood Trades have been covering this as well. I thought this graphic was like so poignant, dude. It doesn't get any more obvious than this. This is nuts. Okay, now one final thing that I want to get into today, and it is a little bit spoilery here, okay? It is a little bit spoilery here. I want to talk about some leaks for Avengers Doomsday, okay? Now, here's the thing, chat. I don't know that these leaks are actually real. Big old grain of salt on this one, okay? And I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but I want to give you the full take here. So this all comes from a guy named James Mackwell on X, okay? A new scooper. A new insider out there in the scene. And the thing is, I got caught up in the hype a little bit on some of the things this dude has talked about. But he did report like 3 or 4 weeks ago that Marvel was going to be at San Diego Comic-Con and they were going to announce all these big projects like Thor 5, maybe World War Hulk, and then like Doc Strange 3. And after Marvel delayed San Diego Comic-Con, they're like, we're not going to Hall H this year. I unfollowed this guy. I blocked this guy. Because I was like, dude, he's not... What? This guy's full of shit. However, to be totally fair, he could have been right, but then Marvel just made the decision to pull out. I still don't know, okay? And with some other weird reports, like we did have a report from Daniel RPK that Thor 5 is going into active development. That would actually line up with that very same scoop that I thought this guy made, that it was full of shit and I blocked him. So I bring all of this up just to say, like, this guy could be legit. They started posting his scoops to certain Reddit groups that I know for a fact have good moderation teams that would not just pull random people into that Reddit, okay? So I'm really on the fence about this stuff. Here's what I think is going on with this guy. My honest feeling is this guy's either totally accurate, knows what he's talking about, or he's just paying attention to all the other leaks and scoops, and he's just kind of giving us the best guess, which technically lines up with everything else that we've heard for the film. So take it all with a massive grain of salt, but let's get into this. Marvel's Avengers Doomsday is now in production and we've received important leaked plot details. According to a report from James Mackwell on X, members of the design team are working on concept art related to a major battle at a Mansion X. One piece of artwork is titled Invincible Avengers. I gotta say, that's a really cool name, man. That's a cool name. The Invincible Avengers. I like it, and wait till you hear who the roster is. Well named. In Avengers Doomsday, this team is tasked with resolving the incursion between two worlds and rescuing Monica Rambeau. These heroes, along with other characters from that universe, later protect Loki at the Citadel after fighting the TVA and Doctor Doom's plan. Now, wait a minute. That's crazy. We'll come back to that in a second here, okay? Who are the Invincible Avengers? So, according to this report, the team will include Sam Wilson, Thor, Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi, Ant-Man, Jennifer Walters, Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Bob, Bruce Banner, Shuri, M'Baku, Namor, and the Fantastic Four, who joined the mission because Doctor Doom kidnapped Franklin Richards, the son of Reed Richards and Sue Storm, and took him to a place called Universe X. Now, first off, let me just say, this is, again, either accurate or this guy's really clever, because we know Sam Wilson, Thor, Captain Marvel, Shang-Chi, Ant-Man, maybe. We're not sure about that. Jennifer Walters, we're pretty sure. Yelena, we're pretty sure. Bucky, we're pretty sure. Bob, we're pretty sure. Bruce, we're pretty sure. Shuri and M'Baku, that's spoiled on social media. Namor, that's spoiled on social media. And the Fantastic Four, that's been officially revealed as well. These characters are together filming. At least we know that at least a lot of them are. Okay? Now, Universe X, that would refer to the X-Men universe, which I think was labeled as 10005 at the end of the Marvels. That's that universe, right? We know that's going to play a big role, right? The chairs, they have Sir Patrick Stewart, they had Cyclops homie, they had all those people, so they're going to be in it. I've been reporting to you, which, by the way, look, again, not to toot my own horn, but toot fucking toot. I told you guys that was the X-Mansion, like, very early on. And that's because somebody told me. Like, somebody that I really trust was like, yeah, it's the X-Mansion. So I believe the Mansion X. I believe Avengers are fighting X-Men there. Invincible Avengers, that sounds really cool. That could absolutely be real. That seems like a team I would call invincible. I mean, let's talk about the heavy hitters on this team, man. Thor, wow. Captain Marvel, wow. Shang-Chi, very powerful. Jennifer Walters, incredibly powerful. Bob, incredibly powerful. Bruce Banner, incredibly powerful. Namor's real strong. Fantastic Four team's real strong. Yeah, Invincible Avengers, I think that sounds about right. That seems like a good team. A team that could potentially stand up to the X-Men and potentially even Doctor Doom. Okay, let's read on, and I have more speculation here, okay? Meanwhile, John Walker, Ghost, Red Guardian remain on Earth 616 alongside other Avengers to protect the planet from an unknown invasion. The remaining Thunderbolts unite with Wakanda, Tatalan, and the Sorcerers led by Wong to help defend Earth. Okay, so all that sounds right. It lines up with things we've heard. Meanwhile, we already read that. During production, a few leaked set images appeared online showing destroyed Sentinels in front of the X-Mansion. It's now reported that Robert Downey Jr.'s Doctor Doom will be using the Sentinels to fight the X-Men in Avengers Doomsday. That was reported by Daniel. I literally made a video about it the day before he reported it. Check the tapes, man. Your boy's pretty good. Okay? In Avengers Doomsday, the MCU begins the beginning of the end. The multiverse nears total collapse. The Avengers assemble to face the greatest challenge yet: incursions, catastrophic collisions between realities that could destroy the entire multiverse. Earth's mightiest heroes must race against time to save their reality while confronting the powerful figure behind it all, Victor Von Doom. Ooh, I like that, man. That's a nice little log line. Okay, so what do we make of this? What do we make of this? I think this is potentially true. There's one piece here that doesn't make sense to me. Okay? And again, I am just really not sure. You know, like, let's be real. We're speculating about a movie that's more than a year away. We're getting second, third-hand information. We're talking about the consensus of insiders that are mostly anonymous accounts. Like, dude, this is all a crapshoot. But at the same time, we have been able to sift through all of that noise and come up with pretty accurate reporting on most of these films. We don't get everything right, of course, but the sense-making apparatus that we have for these movies is solid. Okay? So the main reason that I am questioning this report is because I have been told that Doom will be fighting against the X-Men. And that's in this report a bit because they talk about how the Sentinels are going to be sent by Doctor Doom. But here's the question. How could Doctor Doom kidnap Franklin Richards, go to the X universe, be fighting against the X-Men, and yet also be pretending to be Tony Stark and getting the Avengers to help him? Now, that part is not in this report at all. But it is something that a person told me that was the same person that has told me a lot of the stuff that has been proven to be correct before people like Daniel even report it. Okay? Now, I asked about this. I was like, how can this all work together? And what I was told is he's doing both. Doom is both pretending to be Tony Stark to get the Avengers to trust him. And yet he is also manipulating the Fantastic Four. He is also manipulating the X-Men. He's manipulating everybody. But I have a lot of trouble like having this all fit together. I think the main question for me is Doom kidnapping Franklin Richards? Is he really and truly kidnapping Franklin Richards? Because what I can't imagine is that he actually kidnaps Franklin, then gets the Fantastic Four to go along with him lying to the 616 Avengers about being Tony Stark. Then also stealing Franklin and going to the X-Men universe. Like, some of this has to be not true, right? So I don't know, man. I don't know which part it is. I guess what I'll say is, like, I like what I'm hearing. Earth X, that is pretty much confirmed. They might not call it Universe X, but I mean, it's an X-Men universe for all intents and purposes. I'll add to this here. I've been told it's an X-Men utopia. It is literally a paradise. It is a utopia that is basically a potential future for the Fox X-Men characters. It's kind of like maybe Magneto, maybe Professor X, maybe the two of them together have forged an actual utopian future for mutants and humans in this X-Men universe. No Avengers in this universe, which is something James Mackwell said there was. Right? So again, it's like, I'm not sure. Does this dude even know what he's talking about? Or is he just taking really good guesses? I am not sure. But if this is true, I really like the Invincible Avengers. That's cool. Love the leaked cast here. By the way, I think Red Hulk is probably in here too. Which is another reason why I'm like, does he even know what he's talking about? Because I've heard Red Hulk is in there, but he hasn't reported on it. I don't know, guys. Pretty interesting stuff here. So just wanted to bring this to your attention because a lot of people are talking about it, and I can't tell what's going on with this James Mackwell guy. So we're just going to, for now, take it with a massive grain of salt. Maybe he's getting some stuff. Maybe he's wrong on some stuff. Maybe all of this is bullshit. I don't know. Those are just kind of my thoughts on it. So I'd love to know, like, what do you guys think? Like, what do you make of these rumors? What do you think about James Mackwell? What's the deal here, guys? What's the deal here? Scott says, did you see Jeff talk about the drama on the Doomsday set to the point where a subplot had to be added for a specific character? I did not hear about that, but I mean, doesn't that make sense? Doesn't that track? And you've got 70 characters in this thing. I'm going to go ahead and say there's going to be some drama. I'm going to go ahead and say there's going to be some issues. I'm going to go ahead and say some additional script writing will probably have to be done. He is making a guesstimate off of what is already out there. That is absolutely possible. That could be what is happening. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's hard to say. It is hard to say. Who's the drama queen? Bree? Shuri? I mean, I wouldn't even speculate, but it's Bree. Josh, how are they going to explain Kang? That's a good question. I'm not sure, man. Maybe they don't need to, but I've heard that He Who Remains creating the sacred timeline is like central to Doom's motivation. So you would think they'd have to have some Kang in there. So yeah, I don't know. Is the X-Men universe 10005? I believe so. Yes, I believe so. Yeah. I don't think Bree was in the show. Well, Bree isn't shooting right now either, right? Or is she? I don't know. Like, I'm seeing all these photos of her doing like other random shit. Like she got a Switch 2 delivered to her. You know what I mean? Stu Redmond says, what does Doom need from the X-Men/X universe? I would assume he needs powerful beings. What I've been told is he needs two things. He needs to destabilize the X-Men. So here's a possibility, right? Like if Kang created the fake timeline, did all this shit, multiversal war, and it was all stopped, but also Kang hides the World Forge in the Citadel at the end of time behind Alioth. Okay? So that's what it is. Doom needs to get there. Okay, but Doom knows as the incursions are happening, different powerful Marvel characters from different universes will pop up. They will pop up on the Void and potentially either be a problem for him to get through or something like that, right? So what I was told is Doom is using the Avengers and the X-Men, and he's trying to weaken both teams. So maybe he's trying to like dampen some of the power or put one of those TVA Johns on one of them so their powers can't be used or something. He's trying to take some powerful people out. Right? So maybe that's what it is, where he's trying to set up a scenario where he grabs up some powerful beings, because I think he's using Franklin's power for sure. I think he wants Wanda's power. Maybe there's a good version of Wanda with Magneto on Universe X, and he needs that Wanda. That's a possibility. Maybe he needs the Phoenix Force. You know what I mean? Jean and the Phoenix Force, very powerful. White Room, very important. Maybe he needs that. You know, maybe he needs Sentry. Maybe he needs all of these beings, and he's just going to use them as batteries when he hucks them into the World Forge, right? Because that's kind of in, which I should probably do a full video explaining this, but that's kind of what's set up in, what was it? What If Season 3? With Supreme Strange. Like, that's what he did, essentially, was he grabbed up all these powerful heroes and villains, and he just throws them into the World Forge to power them. Oh, that was Season 2? Yeah, so I think something like that could be on the table for them. Yeah. How Bob will control him as Sentry? I'm not sure what you mean, brother. Do you mean, like, how will Doom control him? For like with Bob and Sentry? I don't know, man. I don't really know. Yeah. Any chance we'll see 838 in Doomsday at all? I mean, there's a possibility, I would say, but I don't think so. You know, what's weird is the Fantastic Four universe is apparently 828. So I wonder if it has some connection to 838. You know what else? And I brought this up before, but I just think it's so interesting. What's the deal with like 838 being a utopia? 828 seems like a utopia. The X-Men universe feels like a utopia. What's the deal? Why is 616 so shitty compared to all these other universes? You know? I don't understand it. Josh, thoughts on Mia Guardians of the Galaxy being cast in the Sean Levy movie? I don't know who Mia Guardians of the Galaxy is, but Mia Goth is cool, and I heard she was in that as well. Oh, Mia Goth, right. Okay, sure. Yeah, Mia Goth in Sean Levy Star Wars movie. Dude, I think it could work. I actually think Sean Levy Star Wars movie sounds kind of cool. I thought about making a whole video talking about all the rumors for it. We talked about it on stream before, but it's like, you know, Gosling, I think, raising like a niece or a nephew, a young boy he's raising as a Jedi. There are a couple, like a male, female villain team that's like Sith or something. Some of the story seems cool, man. Mikey Madison turned down the part, so it went to Mia Goth. Yeah, I heard about that. Yeah. 616 is a secondhand universe for being a secondhand number. Iman says. I don't know what the full context of that quote is, though. I know she and Kevin really beefed over, like, because the Marvel Comics universe is 616, right? So a lot of people are like, and they get butthurt because MCU cannot be 616 because the comic universe is 616. But I don't know that was ever resolved. I know that Kevin just told her she was wrong. 616 backwards is 616? Damn. Mind blown. You kind of said that like Seinfeld. What's the deal with the 616? Yeah. Mia Goth would be good casting for Abeloth? Yeah, you're not wrong. 1999 is the MCU in the comics. True. And they reference that in Across the Spider-Verse as well. The Miguel character refers to that universe as 1999 as well. Interesting, huh? But yeah, that's the report there for the Marvel rumors, guys. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there's some other stuff that'll come out, but for now, that's all we got on that. Shit. And I think that's everything in my notes, man. That's everything in my notes. What else is going on, chat? Off topic, but I was wondering if you had any comic run recommendations. Love the stream. I mean, dude, the obvious choices, New Avengers and Avengers, Jonathan Hickman run. I love his FF as well. I liked Superior Spider-Man when Doc Ock took over Peter's body. I liked that run. I thought it was pretty incredible. I liked the Venom, Donny Cates stuff was really fun. Yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of good runs, man. All sorts of good stuff. You know, on the DC side of things, that Mr. Miracle book, I think it was Tom King or Tom Taylor that did that. I think it was Tom King. Shit's incredible. Matt Fraction, Hawkeye, David Aja, so good. Ultimate Spider-Man, the original Bendis Pacelli run, phenomenal. Yeah, lots of good runs, man. Lots of good runs. What's the major theater chain in your area? In my hometown, it's Cinemark. If the camera pans to the right, you'll see a pile of crumpled paper. Wouldn't that be funny? Bendis Bagley. Was it Bagley? You should come to SpaceCon San Antonio in October to see Elizabeth Olsen in the Daredevil cast. I mean, you had me at Elizabeth Olsen, to be honest. You had me at Elizabeth Olsen. But we'll see, man. You know, I kind of told myself I'm not going to travel too much until I get Unity figured out, which hopefully soon. Yeah, we'll see. I'll let you guys know. Imperial. Dude, I got to read Imperial. I have heard glowing reviews about Imperial. I need to read it, man. I need to read that. Believe that. I need to read it. Believe that. Look at this poll, man. 60% of you think I got tricked into getting those Superman tickets. I think you're right, dude. I think chat is right. No more Tinseltown? Tinseltown is a Cinemark theater, brother. Any rumors on Star Wars Visions? Not that I've heard, not that I'm aware of. There could be something out there. I just haven't been looking into it. I ain't been looking into it like that. Josh, the current F4 run is incredible. I've heard it's pretty good, yeah. I've heard it's pretty good. Oh, man. Strange world out there, huh? Yeah, it's kind of funny. All right, any other thing, guys? What else is going on here? I'm going to get out of here soon. I'll chill for a little bit here. Reminder, tomorrow we'll have a Nerd Avenger stream, probably just a casual stream again, guys. I want to talk a little bit about, some of the changes to the content, some of the stuff I'm thinking about. I'm cooking up some Marvel videos, so there'll be some videos dropping, clips channel, regular channel, etc. Might do a Star Wars leak video, too, about the movie. I'm not really sure. I got a lot of stuff I'm thinking about, working on, but I really appreciate you guys. So thank you so much for coming to today's stream. Otosuke says, is Nerd Theory still going to happen at some point, or has that changed with the new changes? Nerd Theory will return. I talked to Theory about it just this weekend. The issue is Unity. Yeah, I mean, maybe I'll talk more about what's going on Wednesday, but I just need to get Unity under control. And also, Star Wars is in kind of a dead zone, too. So I think it might be best to bring Nerd Theory back, as we start to get excited for Ahsoka, which happens first? Is it Mando movie or is it Ahsoka season 2? It might be Mando movie. But yeah, no, we're good on that. And in fact, it actually frees Nerd Theory up a little bit. There was a point in time where we were trying to change Nerd Theory to be a little bit more in line with what I was doing, and that's no longer the case. So yeah, it's actually good for Nerd Theory, but probably not going to happen anytime soon. Just going to be honest, guys. I'm thinking maybe late this year, maybe early next year. But Theory told me whenever. You know what I mean? He's obviously wants to do the show. I want to do the show, but he understands where I'm at. Gillette says, I guess they got your Prime Owl instincts. Not bad. Not bad there, buddy. And then he said, you got to quit jumping the gun. Also, not bad. Not bad. As a dad myself, I kind of appreciate the dad joke energy. So there you go. I think you guys do great casual and life conversations, so it should include a lot more. Getting back, good back and forth conversations. Oh, yeah, of course. For sure. But at the end of the day, it is a Star Wars show. He is Star Wars Theory. You know what I mean? So I just think that with everything that's going on, let's just wait until Star Wars starts cooking. But I promise you guys this. Last time, Nerd Theory, because Nerd Theory was kind of ending around Ahsoka, right? And, honestly, Theory was a little absent then. He had some stuff going on, but he had missed 2 or 3 weeks of Nerd Theory around Ahsoka, right? And I always thought that was a shame, because he had what he had going on. He didn't know at the time that I was thinking about leaving. But I always regretted that because I was I felt like Ahsoka would have been so cool for us to actually cover it. I mean, for God's sakes, we covered all the other shitty shows. I just thought it would be really cool for us to cover Ahsoka together. I think that you will get that. I think Nerd Theory will be around when Ahsoka Season 2 is coming out, and I think we will make up for lost time. And if Ahsoka Season 2 is anything even close to what I think it's going to be, we are going to have some incredible streams around that time where Theory and myself just gush about Ahsoka. Hopefully. So, yeah. Did you seem to read more of the chat now? Was that other people saying to only read super chats? Was other people saying to only read super chats? No. It was just that for the podcast format, it doesn't work as well if I'm always reading chat. So I tried to just keep the Q&A to the end of the stream. But then what would happen is super chats would stack up. So then I'd go through all the super chats, probably made people feel like I wasn't listening to the chat. So that's all that was. Jeremiah says, super glad the old stream format is back. Did you ever finish the animated Spider-Man show? I thought it was pretty good. Take my money, Unity. Much love. Appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. I don't think I did finish it. I think I watched a couple more, though. I actually watched that show with Liam a little bit. And he was kind of into it. He's like at a weird age, you know, like it really has to grab him or he's just going to go do something else, right? So, yeah. Is gambling going to come back? No. Gambling and Nerdcoin is something that I wanted to get away from that either way. I know it was something people loved and I know it was really fun, but ultimately, like, it was just not something I really wanted. I don't really want to worry about it. B, it made the chat completely insufferable. So I know everybody loves gambling. And Nerdcoin was a cool idea, but like, I guess this is how I would say it. It was not worth the trouble, basically. Yeah, no? Like, ultimately, not worth the trouble. We need more giveaways. I absolutely agree, and I think we will. I think we will have more giveaways. I don't think we're going to do them through Nerdcoin, but yeah. Are you calling us toxic gamblers? No. But I might off-stream later, you know? We'll see. Warhammer models? Yeah, giving away some Warhammer models would be cool, for sure. That's a long-ass wait for Nerd Theory. I know it is. We'll see. Something could change. Hopefully some progress is made on the comic there. But, you know, it just is what it is, man. I'm not super pumped about the delay either, but it is what it is. Let's see here. What was the thing? Mark Flanagan. I thought it was Mike. Mark Flanagan is really talking up the Dark Tower. That's true, he is. I don't even know how the Clayface thing got on the radar. Dark Tower takes precedent over DC. Oh, I 100% agree. And when I heard that quote, brother, that he gave about the Dark Tower series, which I love those books, dude. Are you kidding me? Roland, You've Forgotten the Face of Your Father? Like, come on, bro. Those books are fantastic. So when I heard his comments about that, I was like, dude, fuck a Clayface movie, you know? Like, dude, put that man on Dark Tower and, like, let's get it done right. Because that was some real passion. You could feel the passion in that comment. So, that's cool. Dark Tower is great. Absolutely agree. Dark Tower is incredible, dude. Love those books. Love those books, dude. I don't want to give any spoilers, but one of my favorite parts of that whole book is when he's in that town and he's trying so hard to be chill, and then he ends up gunning down everybody in that one town. That shit was wild. I love that part of the book. And then there's a lot of really crazy stuff that happens in the future books with, like, the doors and going into the other planes and stuff like that. Some of the creatures that King creates, like, I forget the name of those creatures, but they had, like, the floating balls that, like, fly around them. Those things were badass. Yeah, it's really fun. It's really fun fantasy. You know, I don't even love all of King's stuff, but dude, that fantasy series was great. Heading to Poland for 12 days with the wife. Gonna have a lot of catching up to do. Want me to bring you anything back? No, just have a good time, man. Have a good time. You know, the Polish people have a beautiful country, beautiful people, and they just, you know, they're very chill. They like to have a good time. So I think you'll have an incredible time there. Maybe someday I'll make it back to the homeland, you know? I used to sit in my driveway for like 20 minutes after the first 1.5 hour commute just to finish the chapter of the Dark Tower audiobooks. Ooh, I hear that. They were quite good. Kind of make me want to read them. But I'm so steeped in Warhammer lore, man. I can't imagine. I'm just so I'm reading so many, and I have so many books to read. I don't know when's the next time I could honestly say I'm going to dedicate a lot of time to a book outside of Warhammer. I just don't think that's going to happen. Yeah, Dark Tower's good, man. You'll enjoy it. Check it out. All right, everybody. Hey, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out on a Tuesday, man. It was a good stream. I got bamboozled, but I'm still excited to see Superman. Much love, man. Appreciate y'all. I'll see you guys soon. Tomorrow at 11, maybe video later. We shall see, okay? As I always say, I hope you are having an awesome and a nerdy day. And I'll see you in the next video. Oh, Warhammer whiteboard stream? We might have to do it. Might have to do that. Is everybody gone? Did everybody leave? Oh man, another happy landing, man. I got bamboozled, bruh. I was sitting in line for Dunkin' after making the purchase, and it all started to hit me. And I was like, wait a minute, I just spent $25 a ticket? I had to click through some Amazon. What? The fuck? Anyway, I'm still pumped. I mean, look, game is game. They got me. I think it was good. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to make some money. So, yeah. We'll see how it all goes. Much love, man. Appreciate you guys. Thank you for the love. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for the support. We're just going to keep on rocking in the free world. Hey, do me a favor, though. As you're going throughout your day today, just do me a favor. Open up your third eye there. And wash out your stinky, stinky butt.